This Webdvar is dedicated L'Zecher Nishmas Dovid Avraham Nesanel ben Harav Yakov Yosef Tzvi. That was my friend Danny Berkowitz, who was suddenly niftar this past Erev Shabbos. May his Neshama have an aliyah, and he'll be sorely missed by his family and his friends. It reminds us about the delicate nature of life, and that every day that we live is a gift from HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and that we should take advantage of every moment to be able to improve and work on ourselves, and to be able to dedicate our lives to Torah and to mitzvos and sanctifying God's name in this world. One of the elements that I'd like to focus on in our parsha, as our parsha for the most part describes the contributions given by Jewish people to the Mishkan, is the contribution of the women of their mirrors. The copper mirrors that were given for the base and for the entire kior. The kior was a receptacle, a large receptacle that held all of the water from which the Kohanim would wash their hands in preparation for the service that they would perform in the Mishkan and later on in the Beis HaMikdash. So these mirrors, I elaborate on these mirrors in the shir, the parsha shir that can be found on the shul's website this week regarding the hidden secret, the background behind the kior. These mirrors, as Rashi explains to us, came from the Jewish women used these mirrors in Mitzrayim in order to be ma'amid, in order to establish the next generation of Jewish children, and so they were very significant to these women and also to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And God tells Moshe, please accept these mirrors and make the kior, make this receptacle out of these mirrors. So that's one reason why the kior was made out of these mirrors. The Maggid Mezritz explains that there is another significance to the element of the Kohanim washing their hands while looking at these mirrors, while looking at this kior. And he explains as follows. We all know that there is a concept in psychology of projection. When we feel a given thing, we may project our feelings onto someone else. And how we observe other people is within itself a reflection of how we may be feeling about ourselves. So the Maggid Mezritz explains that in essence, the way that we look at other people and judge other people and look at the traits of other people is really in our minds formulated based on how we feel about our own traits. And so he explains that the reason why the kior was made of these mirrors was that when the Kohanim sat down or stood in order to wash themselves, in order to purify themselves and prepare themselves to enter bikdusha, to enter with sanctity into the Mishkan and perform their service, they were to look in the mirror and see the reflection of themselves. So that if there was any critical part that they would be looking at someone else, here they would look at themselves and recognize and see who they were and what they were representing, and if they were happy with what they saw in the mirror. I think there's great significance to the element of our own observation of others and the method in which we observe ourselves that can be learned from here. There are times that we look upon others in a negative way. We should be looking upon others in a positive way. So what the Maggid is telling us is, look at each other, look at other people as we would look at ourselves. If there's a trait that we see in other people that we believe to be negative, then think about how that trait is within us. And by doing so, we'll be able to improve ourselves and hopefully be able to look at other people in a more positive light. May we truly be zocheh to, when we look in the mirror, to be happy with what we see every day of our lives. Thank you for listening, and have a good Shabbos.